Happy Friday, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. Hopefully you're having a great day. We've got rivalry weekend in the MLB. Some really good games on tap on this Friday. Do have a little bit of weather out there, but it's looking like a good day. So let's talk a little bit about yesterday. Recap from yesterday, we went 2-3. So many hooks. Man, this could have been a fantastic day, but still love the reads. In hindsight, some things could have done differently that we're going to adjust moving forward, mainly around the pitching. But let's recap. We had Freddie Freeman to get an RBI. That was sweat-free. Got that in the first inning for us. We had Shulver under 5.5 Ks and the Braves to win. He hooked us with 6 Ks. We had DeGrom under, I don't know why I put 5.5. It was under 6.5 Ks and the first 5 under. Sweat-free under. It was 0-0. DeGrom hooked us. He got 6K, or he got 7Ks. So, man, those were painful. Those were nice little paydays. And then we had the Astros on the money line. Don't hate that read, man. I would 100% play that again. Astros dominated that game. They hit so many balls over 100 miles an hour. They had 7 runners left on base compared to 2 for Texas. Texas, one swing of the bat, man, 1-0. Hunter Brown and DeGrom pitched absolute gems. But yeah, it's definitely a play I would take again. I feel like we had the right read there, just the wrong result. So I can live with that. And then we had the Dodgers and A's over 9. That was ridiculously sweat-free. The Dodgers did that times 2 on their own. That was a ridiculously high-scoring affair on the Dodgers. An absolute beatdown of epic proportions. It was pretty crazy. It was 19-2 was the final score in that one. So I'm a little nervous to go back to the Dodgers after a 19-run day. But I've got 6 best bets for you guys, and we're going to bring back the fun parlay. We haven't done that in a while. I'll give you guys a 3-leg parlay that I like today. Make sure you guys hit that thumbs up button. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Comment down below to help with the algorithm and all that good junk. All right, White Sox and the Cubbies. We've got a Wrigley day, but this time it's a good Wrigley day. We've got the wind blowing out. It's like 18 miles an hour to left field. Home runs are going to be up almost 40%, runs up about 20%, hence the over-under of 11. We have Shane Smith on the bump for the White Sox, and we have Cade Horton going for the Cubbies. Horton's 1-0. It was an away game. Did give up some runs. He's got a 6.75 ERA, but he only went 4 innings. But he had 5 Ks in those 4 innings. Don't really know a lot about him. Shane Smith's dealing. I mean, he's had a great season, but he's 1-2. But he's got a 2.04 opponent average, 2.08 ERA. On the road, he's got a 2.18 ERA, so slightly worse, but still really good. But if we look at his numbers, it's projecting regression. Expected ERA of 3.36. Currently has a FIP of 71 and an expected FIP of 102. So at some point, regression is going to come for Mr. Shane Smith. Is it going to be today? Maybe. Given this weather, it's definitely going to be some balls flying out. My only issue with Horton, now we're dealing with a small sample size here of 4 innings, but he had a fly ball out rate of 73%. That is not good on a day when a pop-up can almost go out at Wrigley. If we look at Smith, doing a really good job against lefties, 167 average against righties, a little worse at 244. And when we look at this Cubs lineup, you do have 5 righties in the lineup. So you got, let's see, John Birdie, Nico Horner, Dansby Swanson would be a righty. Suzuki's a righty. And then on the lefty side, you'd have like PCA, Pete Crow Armstrong. You'd have Michael Busch and Kyle Tucker would be your lefties there. I don't think we can overlook the White Sox here. They played pretty dang good at those first 2 games of the Red Series where they were putting up some runs and getting some clutch hits. They're 4-6 in their last 10, which is actually the exact same record as the Cubs, both coming off a game where they lost. On the road, though, White Sox are 5-18. At home, Cubbies are 12-10. Now, when the Cubs are favored at home this season, they're 10-7. On the road as underdogs, which the White Sox are always underdogs, they're 5-18. So 86 degrees, low humidity, low pressure. I mean, cannot get any better for runs in this game. I want to take the over 11. That said, I think Shane Smith can still deal. This White Sox pen's not good. Cubs pen's not good. And I don't trust this starting pitcher. There is some value taking the White Sox here at plus 195. I will say that, but probably going to stay away. I think this is a really good game to take some props. I do think there's some opportunities for props in this game on both sides, really. So I'll be looking into the prop market here, HRRs, things like that today. All right, next game, going to be the Ohio series. Battle for the Ohio Cup, Guardians and the Reds. We've got Tanner Bybee going up against Brady Singer. Bybee is 3-3. I don't know if it's Bybee or BB. I hope it's not BB because that sounds stupid. I'm going to go with Bybee. 3-3 with a 234 opponent average, 3.80 ERA. Going up against Singer. Singer hasn't looked great his last couple of starts. His last start in Houston was dreadful. That was when Reds were facing Lance McCullers and just threw up like a 10 spot in the first inning. And then Singer gets pulled in the bottom of the third with 1 or 2 outs. I can't remember, but he'd given up like 7 runs. So did not look good down in Houston. He's 4-2 on the year with almost a 5 ERA now, giving up an opponent average of 2.47. If we look at the Redlegs, after a win this season, they're only 9-11. Cleveland's coming off a loss. After a loss this season, they're 10-7. On the road as favorites this year, they are 4-3. Reds at home as underdogs are 3-3 on the year. If we look at the weather, we do have some rain possible. There's some nasty weather coming here, like potential tornadoes and things like that. So hopefully this game gets played. If it does, I'll have something on it because I'll be watching it. But 81 degrees, mid-humidity, low pressure, but we do have a 12-mile-an-hour wind just slightly blowing in from right field, but home runs are up like 39%. Runs are going to be up 22%. It's kind of like you just want to bang the 9. The 9 feels sweat-free, but not many games have gone over in GABP this year. It's like 7 of 22. It's not a great number that's gone over, but if it's going to, today's the day. I kind of like the winds blowing in from right field. Definitely hurts Cleveland a little bit, but man, it's so easy to put it out to right. Neither team's been hitting well over the last week or 2 weeks, so not a lot of confidence in that. In terms of runners in scoring position, Bybee's been pretty good, 2.27, but his away ERA is bad. He's got a 6.64 away ERA in 4 games this year on the road. Singer, 2.82 ERA in 4 games at home. Now, he got off to a really good start his first 2 home starts, so it's slightly skewed. But, if we look at Singer, like I said, gave up 7 in his last game against the Astros, gave up 4 at Atlanta. At home against St. Louis, he was great, went 6 innings, only gave up 1. Gave up 3 at home to Seattle, 3 against the Pirates, 3 against Milwaukee, so doesn't give me a ton of confidence. Bybee's been pitching really well. Last start against Philly, he shut him down. Went 7 innings, gave up 5 hits and only 1 earned. At Toronto, only gave up 2. Against the Twins, only gave up 1. 2 against the Yankees, and then rough start to the season. But if we look over his last, 4 starts, they've been 1 or 2 earned runs. So nothing really here where I can get behind the Reds. Like I said, they're just not. They're hot or cold. You don't know what you're going to get. They had a very strong feeling they were going to open it up against the White Sox, and they did, but not sure how I feel about this game. Pitch splits definitely favor the Reds. They're still 9th hitting the fastball, which Bybee throws 48% of the time, but he also throws a slider 21% of the time, and man, they have been terrible against the slider. So I don't know which way the wind blows in this game. I'll have to keep looking, keep digging in, but we'll see if it even gets played. Next game is going to be the Pirates and the Phillies. Andrew Heaney going up against Ranger Suarez. So 2 lefties on the bump today. Heaney is 2-3 with a 3.15 ERA and a 2.08 opponent average. Having a fairly good season. Ranger Suarez is 1-0 with a 5.91 ERA. Very small sample size. He's only pitched 2 games. First game was horrible, but he bounced back very well in his last start, giving up a 250 opponent average. To me, this comes down to the Pirates versus lefties. They have been dreadful. They are hitting 204 against lefties over the past weeks. That is 23rd in MLB. WRC plus of 63. That is 25th in the MLB. They're K'ing at almost a 30% clip. against lefties over the past 2 weeks, and it's actually worse over the past week. They're K'ing at a 32.5% clip. We've seen the strikeouts come down for the Phillies versus lefties, which was my main issue, and they're hitting them very well. They're fifth in the last 2 weeks in terms of average, hitting almost 300, but over the past week, really good, hitting 364 with a WRC plus of 161. Again, 100 means average. So I like that spot. In terms of Haney, on the road, he's been good. 2.65 ERA and 3 away starts. Doesn't do a great job with runners in scoring position, though. Giving up a 280 average there. Significantly weaker lefty on lefty. Giving up a 261 average versus a 190 average versus righties. Suarez definitely giving up a stronger average against righties, but again, metrics are very skewed because of that first game. I love the Phillies in this spot. I mean, if we look at the lefties that the Pirates have faced lately, David Peterson, they got 2 off of him. They got 2 off of Sale. They got 1 off of Liberatore, 2 off of Boyd, nothing off Imanaga. There's just nothing here that says they're going to crush a lefty. When we go to the Phillies, you know, they got 2 off of Liberatore, 3 off of Rodriguez, 3 off of Mackenzie Gore, 2 off of Peterson, 4 off of Robbie Ray, 5 off of Chris Sale. So I feel a little bit better at home, especially given where the weather's at here. We're going to have a wind blowing out to right field. It's going to be 77 degrees with low pressure and mid humidity. So carry's going to be good. Home run's going to be up 24%. Runs up 10. Now there is rain possible in this one, but looks like it's going to get played. So I am all over the Phillies on this one. Give me the Phillies team total over 4.5, and then a modified play of Ranger Suarez to get 5 Ks. Phillies team total over 3.5, just in case. But if they don't get to Haney, they've got a very vulnerable Pirates bullpen here. That said, Phillies bullpen's vulnerable too, so we're not necessarily backing them to win, although I do love the run line here. I wouldn't be opposed to it. I do think that the Phillies open up a can on this team. In terms of matchup history, Nick Castellanos, pretty good, 1 for 2. If Sosa plays tonight, he's 2 for 2. Schwarber's 2 for 3. Harper's 1 for 2. Real Muto's 1 for 2. On the other side against Ranger Suarez, there is some success. Henry Davis is 2 for 5. Chirillo is 1 for 4. McCutcheon's 1 for 5. But like Brian Hayes is 1 for 6. Brian Reynolds is 1 for 6. And a lot of offers from there on out. So this spot for me is it is a Philly spot. I mean, like I said, Haney's been pitching well. But if we just look at his last 3 starts, gave up 2 to the Braves, gave up 4 to the Padres, gave up 4 to the Cubs. That's his last 3 starts. So it's not like he's necessarily trending in a great direction there. So give me the Phillies to throw a beat down on them today. All right, next game is going to be the Nats and the Orioles. One of those lines that like doesn't make sense to me when it first came out. It's starting to adjust to where I think it should be. It's a lefty. It's a lefty, a very good lefty, facing the Orioles. Mackenzie Gore, I think he's still the K leader. If not, he's like top 3 for sure. But I'm pretty sure he leads MLB in Ks right now. He's averaging 1.44 strikeouts per inning pitch, and he's going about 5.8 innings on average. So 75 Ks on the season. He's got a 2-4 record, though, with a 3.59 ERA. He is getting beat by the long ball a little bit, giving up 1.37 home runs per 9 inning. On the other side, another lefty, Cade Povich, 1-3, giving up almost a 300 opponent average, a 5.5 ERA, and giving up 1.77 home runs per 9 innings. It's going to be a good day to hit home runs, too. We got a 3-mile-an-hour wind blowing out to right field. It's going to be 81 degrees with mid-humidity and low pressure. So carry will be up. Home runs expected to be up about 16%. Another game where rain is possible in this one. If we look at Mackenzie Gore, he's been pretty solid. 226 to lefties, 236 to righties. Hard hit percentage is a little higher than I would prefer. And he is definitely more vulnerable on the road than he is at home. He's got a 4.18 ERA on the road in 5 starts. Cade Povich giving up a 200 average to lefties, so he's done a fairly good job containing lefties, which, like I said, usually something you want to look at when you're facing this Nats team. But they've been hitting lefties quite well, actually. Over the last 2 weeks, hitting .315. That is 4th in the MLB in terms of average. 6th over the past week in average at .269. Doing a decent job with runners in scoring position over the past 2 weeks, hitting 275. And we've just seen an inability from this Orioles team to hit lefties. They're hitting 188 over the past week. Struggling with runners in scoring position. They're 27th in the MLB over the past week, 28th over the past 2 weeks, and dead last on the season with runners in scoring position. So not doing a great job there. Cade Povich at home has not been something that you want to write home about. He's got almost an 8 ERA, 7.94 in 4 home starts this season. Just not good. And he's not a high K guy. If we look at this Washington lineup, they do have some switch hitters. So they're not going to be completely lefty until obviously Cade Povich comes out and the righty comes in. But your lefties are going to be Abrams, Wood, and Lowe. And then you've got some other guys that are switch hitters like Ruiz, and then if Josh Bell plays. So those would be your switch hitters in the lineup there. I just can't get behind this team when it's talking about Baltimore. If I look at the pitch splits or history against Mackenzie Gore, it's not great. Laureano has a great track record. He's 6 for 8 against him. But other than that, Rutschman's 0 for 5 with 3 Ks. Ryan Mountcastle's 0 for 5. Let's see. Tyler O'Neill is 0 for 2 with 2 Ks. So a lot of Ks in here. Against some of these guys. Gunnar Henderson, 0 for 4 with 2 Ks. So I just don't love this spot for the Orioles. So give me the Nats on the first 5. I want to do that because I still don't trust this bullpen. It's getting a little bit better, but they still have a 6.75 ERA. It's 29th in MLB. They've 28th in FIP. They're 29th in expected FIP. And their Ks per inning for their closers and their setup, very low. So I don't like it. Don't trust Finnegan whatsoever if there's some pressure on the line. If we look at trends here in terms of the, how they do after a loss. So the Nats are coming off a loss and the Orioles have lost 3 in a row. So both of these teams are 2-8 in their last 10. We're not talking about some juggernauts, but I do like the Nats in this spot. A couple games they should have won in that Brave series that they didn't. But as an underdog on the road, Nats are 5-12 on the season. Orioles at home as favorites are 7-10. After a loss, the Nats are 11-15, and the Orioles are 12-14. So really bad numbers. I mean, these aren't fantastic teams, but I do think Nats with the Gore on the mound against a team that's struggling to hit lefties, good spot here. All right, Subway Series here. Mets and the Yankees, 64 degrees with high humidity and low pressure. 5-mile-an-hour wind blowing out to left. Very good for carrying runs. Another game where rain is possible. If we go back to 2022 in this Subway Series, so they play 6 games since 2022. Mets have won. It's evenly split. It's 3-3. But the Mets have won the last 2 games at Yankee Stadium. So that's just solely looking at Yankee Stadium. This one we've got Meatball Tyler McGill going up against Carlos Rodon. McGill's 3-3 on the season. Rodon 4-3, but he's given up a 169 opponent average, but he's got a 3.29 ERA. It's always the home runs that kind of gets Rodon. I feel like he has fantastic starts, and then he gives up a 3-run homer. But aside from that, he's been pitching the ball really, really well. Last start against the A's, gave up 4 earned runs on 8 hits, but he gave up 2 home runs. So that was the crux there. Start before that, nothing against the Padres, 2 against the Orioles, nothing against Cleveland, nothing against Tampa Bay. So he's been pitching pretty well. McGill, a little bit of a rough start against the Cubbies in his last outing. Gave up 7 hits, 4 earned runs. One of those came through a homer, gave up 4 to the Cardinals, gave up 3 to the Nats. So if we look over his last 3 starts, he's given up 11 earned in about 16 innings pitched. So I don't love that spot. Mets are coming off that loss against the Pirates, which was blasphemous. We were on the run line there. That was really annoying. Yankees are coming off a win. Pretty good series against the Mariners. If we look at the Yankees as favorites at home this season, they are 13-7. Mets as dogs on the road are 3-4. After a loss this season, though, their bounce back factor is really strong. They're 12-3 on the season after a loss. Yankees after a win are 12-12. So kind of want to lean Mets in this one. You're getting a slight amount of value, but you're also getting really good value to take a short home favorite. So this is one of those. Mets bullpen's obviously better than the Yankees, but I think Rodon's going to be able to deal here today. And frankly, there's not a lot of pitch splits here, history between the teams. And Rodon's pitched really well against the Mets throughout his career. He's thrown 2 games against them, 1-22, 1-23. He's 2-0 with a .84 ERA with 12 Ks. I just don't know if I can get behind the Mets here. If we look at lefties, they've gotten to some, right? They didn't get anything off of Falter. He looked like a Cy Young winner. Matthew Boyd, they only got 2. They hit the crap out of Eduardo Rodriguez, but kind of everybody is. They did get the Parker, so there is some angles here where I don't mind them, but I mean, light lean towards the Yankees, but I really don't want to touch this game. Aaron Judge to get 2+ bases. Ribby, I think those are good options. Next game, Tigers and the Blue Jays. This one almost made the card, man. It's on the parlay, but I like the Tigers here. It's a little hard to get behind Flaherty right now. He's admittingly struggling. He's 1-5 on the season, but he only has a .234 opponent average, but he's got a .461 ERA going up against Bowden Francis, who is struggling even more. He's 2-5 with a .540 ERA and a .270 opponent average. If we look at Francis, struggling against righties, giving up a .308 average, .253 to lefties. Flaherty, .227 to lefties, .242 to righties. Flaherty is still doing a great job with runners in scoring position. When he gets runners in scoring position, he's still getting out of jams. He's got a 120 average, whereas Bowden Francis, it's like if they get in scoring position, they're pretty much scoring. He's given up a .412 average. He's got a .652 home ERA in 4 home starts. Flaherty, .557 ERA in 4 away starts. So it just feels like this has got to be a bounce back spot for Flaherty and these Tigers. So give me the Tigers at -130. They're 8-2 in their last 10. They've won 3 in a row. After a win, the Tigers are 19-9 on the season. My only concern here is when they are favorites. I mean, it's really not even that. That just works against them too, or works for them. When they're away as favorites, they're 7-3 on the season. We look at the Blue Jays after a loss, they're 9-12. When they're dogs at home, they're 4-4. So Tigers up. This is one that almost just made the card. I would just like a little bit more value than -130. But I do think the Tigers pull it out today. Pitch splits don't look great for Bowden Francis. Tigers are very good at hitting the sinker, and he throws that like 24% of the time. They're very good at hitting the fastball. He throws that 58% of the time. The only thing they really struggle with is curveballs, and he doesn't throw that a ton. So love this spot. Tigers have been absolutely hitting the shit out of the baseball. They're one of the best teams with scoring and runners in scoring position, going up against a pitcher that's extremely weak with runners in scoring position. So Tigers up for me. Next game, Braves and the Red Sox. Pitching matchup of the day. Chris Sale going up against Garrett Crochet. So another game where we got 2 lefties going up against each other. A lot of these going on right now. This doesn't feel like a rivalry to me, though. I don't know. Maybe I'm missing something. But in terms of the weather, we do have a 6-mile-an-hour wind blowing out. It's going to be 68 degrees with high humidity and low pressure. So all good stuff for carry. I like the Red Sox on the money line here. So I do think the Red Sox get it done. Sale has been progressing. He's definitely getting a lot better. But if we just look at the splits, like the Braves haven't done anything against a lefty to really just fill me up with confidence. They got to Mitchell Parker, but I feel like every team's getting to Mitchell Parker. They really didn't get to Haney. They didn't get anything off of Falter. They really didn't hit Lodolo too well. Abbott blanked them. Whereas if you look at the Red Sox, they've been getting to some lefties. Most notably, they just got to Tariq Skubal for 5. Getting 5 earned runs on Tariq Skubal is a pretty good accomplishment. They got 4 off of Cole Reagans. They got 7 off of Logan Allen. They got 6 off of Doug Nazinski, who no one really cares who he is. They got 4 off of Martin Perez. So the lefties they have faced, they haven't faced a ton, but the ones they've faced, they've definitely gotten to. And they've faced 2 lefties in the last week. So I like this spot. Again, we're getting a short number on a home team. So I love to take this spot. If we do look at the Red Sox, they've lost 3 in a row. So I kind of like that bounce back factor as well. Yeah, this is a definite Red Sox spot for me. I mean, they do have an 11-8 record at home as favorites this season. Atlanta Braves on the road as underdogs are 2-6 on the season. After a win, they're 9-12. So I don't think it's going to be a terribly high-scoring game, but I do think Crochet should be able to shut down this Braves offense that we know can get very streaky in a bad way. Next game is going to be the Cardinals and the Royals. So this one should be a pretty interesting game. It's Cole Reagans going up against Andre Palante. Palante 3-2 on the year, 260 opponent average, 436 ERA, going up against Cole Reagans 2-2, 4.20 ERA, 236 opponent average. We have a 17-mile-an-hour wind blowing out to right center. It's going to be 79 degrees with low humidity and low pressure. So should be an interesting one. Runs are supposed to be up a little over 10%. Royals have lost 2 in a row in that series against Houston, so now they're coming back home. It's just all about will they score runs. But they're going up against a Cardinals team that, let's face it, they're red hot. 9-1 in their last 10 games. And they've looked good. They're starting to get this away record up a little bit. They were terrible to start the season on the road, but they're starting to trend there. This is one I would want to lean Royals, but at this price, I just simply can't get behind it. But I don't trust Palante whatsoever. He's given up a 268 average to righties. He's got a 4.82 ERA on the road. That said, Cole Reagans hasn't been lights out at home. So you've got this thing where you've got two pitchers that, I mean, I think the Cardinals are going to be able to hit Reagans. It's one thing they've done pretty good this season is hit lefties. He's definitely susceptible to giving up some hard hits. So it's a bit of a coin flip for me. I'm not going to touch it. Value's on taking the Cardinals at plus 130. There's just no value in taking this Royals team right now at that price. Next game is going to be the Astros and the Rangers. We've got Lance McCullers Jr. going up against Nathan Eovaldi. Pretty lopsided pitching matchup. McCullers, really bad last outing against the Reds. I mean, didn't even make it through the first inning. I know he's still kind of working his way back, but definitely can't get behind McCullers. We're getting a good price, plus 154, but not for this guy. But we're getting too bad of a price to take the Rangers. So it's a fade spot for me. I don't trust the Rangers offensively to throw up a bunch of numbers to take the run line to find value here. So complete fade for me in this spot, but I'm sure the Rangers, I feel like the Rangers definitely win, which is why we're going to put them in our money line parlay. But Eovaldi has just been lights out this season. He's 4-2. He's got a 1.78 ERA, sub-2 opponent average. He's got a 2.50 ERA and 3 starts at home, giving up about league average of runners in scoring position at 250, but 176 average to righties, 194 to lefties, and he's striking them out at a pretty decent clip. He's got a 30% K rate against lefties, 27% against righties. McCullers can't strike anybody out, can't get anybody out, so I do think the Rangers get the job done today. I just don't want to put my money necessarily on taking them run line, but they've won 6 games in a row. They're 7-3 in their last 10, 16-8 at home. Everything trends towards the Rangers should get the job done today, but yeah, we're just going to put them in our money line parlay today. All right, next game is going to be the Twins and the Brewers. I don't know if you guys saw the game yesterday, but Byron Buxton and Carlos Correa were going out for a fly ball together, and they bumped heads. So now they're both in concussion protocol. So I don't think they would play today. It seems kind of crazy that they would pass and be able to play within 24 hours. So not really a game I can get behind. Chad Patrick at home has been pretty good. Chad Patrick away, not so good. But at home, in 4 games, he's got a 2.38 ERA. Joe Ryan on the road's not been bad. 3.13 in 4 games. Yeah, I think I would, if we had Correa and Buxton, I can tell you this line is not minus 112. It's definitely heavily skewed towards the Twins, but without knowing who's going to play, just not a game I'm going to get behind. So fade spot for me. I think the Twins probably still win, but not going to play this whatsoever. All right, Rockies and the D-backs. This video is getting really long, so we're going to speed it up. Padres and the Mariners. No, Rockies and the D-backs. Yeah, this game's just, there is no way you can find value. The run line's like minus 200. I think it's going to be Tanner Gordon going up against Corbin Burns. Diamondbacks should just absolutely destroy them, but I kept trying to find value. Player prop market's the only way you're going to find value. Corbin Carroll to get an RBI, Corbin Carroll bases. I mean, if you want to play this game, it's prop market only. D-backs should absolutely destroy them. Roof's going to be closed, so we don't have to worry about the weather. Mariners and the Padres. I believe it's Logan Evans going up against Steven Kolick. Kolick's looked really good. 2-0 on the season, 188 opponent average. Hasn't given up an earned run in 14.1 innings pitched. He's got 11 Ks, so about 0.8 Ks per inning pitched, but he's going for a while. He's going average of 7 innings. Logan Evans, not terrible, not great. He's kind of somewhere in between. I think his average is a little inflated, giving up a 300 opponent average, but I think he's better than what the numbers are showing. But man, the pitch mix looks terrible for him today. So Padres up in this one. I like the way Kolick looks. Padres are still just smashing the baseball. Mariners have definitely cooled off with the sticks. Over the past week, they are dead last in every offensive statistical category. So they're hitting 185, WRC plus of 54. And again, this is against right-handed pitching. K rate of 31%, only walking 4% of the time. On-base percentage of 231, struggling with runners in scoring position, whereas it's complete opposite for the Padres. They are top 4 in every statistical category over the last week, over the last 2 weeks, and with runners in scoring position, they're the best in baseball over the past week, second over the past 2 weeks, fourth on the season. It just doesn't look great here for the Mariners. Can't get behind them. Give me the Padres. Would like to find a little more value than minus 155, though, so this will be a game I'll play to some degree, and I'll find a way to get this value a little bit better, but love the Padres here. They're going to be the last team in our 3-leg parlay. All right, Angels and the Dodgers. Kochanowicz going up against Dustin May. I just want to fade this game. I'd say take the over. I do like the over in this one, but that's it. Dustin May is just not a dude I can get behind. I don't like the way he pitches. I think this Angels team should be able to hit him. That said, they really haven't been hitting, but the Dodgers have obviously been hitting. And Kochanowicz is about as hittable as they come. He doesn't strike anybody out. So he's got a 12% K rate against lefties, 15% K rate against righties, 46% hard hit percentage. It's just not good. He's got a 6.33 away ERA. Dustin May's definitely been better at home. He's got a 2.20 ERA in 3 games at home, but he's still giving up a 2.76 average to righties. So, this is a very heavy righty team, this Angels team. So they should have 7 righties in the lineup today. So guys like Jorge Soler, Nito, O-Hop, got Taylor Ward would be probably a guy I would get behind today. Actually, don't mind his matchup today. So, yeah. And if we look on the other side, just a lot of guys that can hit the piss out of the baseball. So Dodgers up for me. Dodgers team total over. I don't really want to back anything with them on the run line. I just don't trust Dustin May, honestly. This Angels team's sneaky sometimes. In terms of the weather, 6-mile-an-hour wind blowing out. It's going to be 63 degrees of mid-humidity, mid-pressure. So home runs are going to be up. Yeah, Dodgers team total over, game total over. So it's at 9.5 right now, actually, but you can still get 9 at decent value. All right, last game here. It's going to be the A's and the Giants. JP Sears going up against Logan Webb. Sears has been pitching fantastic. Webb's been pitching fantastic. Another day where it's going to be kind of cold at Oracle Park, 54 degrees. Wind's going to be blowing out. That doesn't really matter. It's a 12-mile-an-hour wind, but home runs are still going to be down 25%. Runs are going to be down 7. I would assume the Giants win, but at this price, I can't get behind it. Logan Webb at home has just been outstanding. He's got a .44 ERA at home in 3 games, so he's not giving up a lot of runs. JP Sears has been great on the road, 2.32 ERA in 5 away games. I don't think you can overlook the A's here. They can still just offensively wake up. But against lefties, Giants have been pretty good, especially over the past week. They're a top 5 team offensively, top 10 over the past 2 weeks. But on the season, by and large, they're below the league average in terms of their batting average. They're hitting 237 on the season, 26% K rate, whereas the A's are hitting 258 with a 22% K rate. So Offensively, I think they're fairly even. The X factor with Logan Webb at home is kind of what puts this over the top. But again, not paying minus 180 here. And I don't want to lean towards the under with an A's team that could just offensively pop off, especially after getting shut out pretty much last night. So that's where I'm at with that. All right, let's get to our best bets and get you guys on your way. First best bet's going to be the Red Sox on the money line at minus 120 on FanDuel. Just like this spot. I think Sale still pitches pretty well, but this Boston team's been getting the lefties, so I like this spot. Give me the Twins and the Brewers nerfy. Like I said, no Buxton, no Correa, so two of their top guys out in the lineup here, and I think Joe Ryan's going to be able to get through this Brewers order, so give me the nerfy here. And then give me the Phillies team total over 3.5, Ranger Suarez to get 5 Ks. That's an alt line. That's minus 105. Give me the team total over 4.5 at minus 130. Kyle Schwarber. I think we're going to get a Schwarber bomb tonight. So give me Schwarber to get a ribby at plus 135. I think that's just really good value, given the weather and the history there. So Schwarber is 2 for 3 off of Haney. I just like this spot. And then give me the Nats on the first 5. I just think they have a pitching disparity here they can take advantage of. So I like the Nats on the first 5. And then a fun parlay. It's not tracked, but I do like Tigers, Rangers, Padres on the money line. If you want to cut that down to 2, I think Rangers, Padres is a really good spot to just take a 2-leg there. That's one I almost put on the card. I probably should, but I like that 2-leg a lot. So that's where I'm at, guys. Appreciate you tuning in, and I'll catch you in tomorrow's video.